everyone. It is your favorite CEO, Miss Flo, and this is a live stream from Blerdcon, brought to you by Blerd Station of Neon Mike, where the conversation just glows. Just FYI, my eye is doing okay. I'm just cosplaying as Captain Kenpachi.
Shut your lame ass up.
And today I have with me a very special guest. Not only is he a musician, a talented singer, rapper, songwriter,
Damn.
filmmaker, and even football coach. Go ahead and introduce yourself and let the people know who you are.
What's good, y'all? My name is Seven. I also go by Moon Man Flo. I'm from Savannah, Georgia. Still play football. Love to coach football. Everything I do is for the kids.
And I love that message. Me being a teacher, I understand the importance of molding young minds. So I got to ask, because I'm teaching while still doing my publication. So how you manage still coaching and pursuing your own dreams as an artist?
I think at some point in my life, it got secondhand, second nature. And I want to say it was around the time I was maybe a fifth year in undergrad. By that time, I was still playing ball. I had been well kind of ingrained in coaching at my school, even though I was going to school in Ohio. I had put a tour on for myself at the school. Administration would call me to perform for certain things. And so I was already kind of balancing this athletic stuff, entertainment stuff. I always had time to kind of be artistic. I remember being bored before my show one day, and in 6 hours, I just made a music video, just random velvet backdrop, green backdrop that I use on Twitch, post that around my room, and did the video for Doki Doki in like 6 hours, dropped it, and went and did the show.
That's amazing. Wait, what music video was that?
That was Doki Doki, cute shit anime.
Wow.
Yeah.
On top of that, like, you're pursuing your career as an artist and then also mentoring the youth. So what team do you coach?
So I coach my high school, Paxton School for Advanced Studies. I coach the boys football team, and I coach the girls flag football team here and there.
Oh, nice.
And it's been a journey. My very first year, I was coaching the freshmen or the seniors that were freshmen when I was a senior. Mm-hmm. So I immediately came in with the understanding that, like, you know, these are my guys back when I was a bit younger. Now I'm in now, and I'm a little older. I know a lot more. They used to follow me when I was the captain of the team, and now I'm coming back in a different role. So having been doing it at home and for so long, it means the most to me to be keeping the door open.
And that's great, because, like, I kind of did the same thing. I'm teaching at the high school I graduated from. And when people already know you or people like are familiar with you, they already have that respect. And so it's like they already look at, I see what he's doing. He's going to school. He's still doing this. So you're like the ideal role model for them out the gate. So that's already impressive. And also, you're just so disciplined, because every time I see you on social media, you are doing football drills, working out, and then you're also singing. So you're doing vocal training as well. Like, where does that sense of discipline come from?
Football, my life, I can't separate myself from the sport at this point. Even long when I retire for the 8th time, you know, it won't leave me. I grew up in a military family, knowing that if you keep working at things the right way, that's when the positive outcomes happen. And you have to have discipline to do that. You can't just throw everything at the wall and get lucky all the time. It's going to work here and there, but what's always going to work is doing the right things as best as you can, as often as you can. And once it becomes, you know, habitual, that's when it's so natural that it doesn't even feel like you're trying anymore.
Like, I'm just like so blown away, because you can tell how much football is a part of you. You even got like the nice jersey, you got like the markings here, you came in here ready to tackle the show tonight, because you are performing at Blerdcon.
Yes.
It's at 8 p.m. at the food truck stage. So you get like an amazing food. We're also hearing some amazing music. And this isn't your first time at Blerdcon. Like, no. How many years have you been performing or attending Blerdcon?
I think this is my 4th year performing. Yeah, my 4th year performing. I've been on the main stage twice as an MC, once as a performer. I'm usually out on the food trucks. When I first kind of started, I was doing underground kind of stuff with DJ Taylor Senpai. Shout out. It don't happen without him. No, I love doing Blerdcon because it is that cookout con kind of vibe. I've long grown kind of out of the blurred space as a person, but I still love like the camaraderie that's here, the blackness that's here, the party vibe that's kind of here, and that just everybody being family and geeking out for a little bit is what always brings me back to perform here and be a part of an environment that accepted me so graciously over the past couple of years, and I'm not even from here, so it's just a beautiful convention.
Yeah, everybody is so nice and welcoming. Like even people that you may not even know, they hug you, make sure you're good. I have dropped several things from my bag and pocket, and people just like immediately like, "Here, is this you?" It's like feels like home. Honestly, it's just like everybody is chill, dope conversations, just geeking out is like all your favorite shows. Like it's just I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave at all. I just want this to be a forever thing.
Yeah.
This feels so amazing, and like I'm glad that you feel home as well. Like, what is it like? Because you've been all over.
Yeah.
You recently got back from Florida, and you had spent time in the UK. So, how does like performing at other places compared to like just like being here?
Well, in other countries, the live entertainment scene isn't like this. It's not like everybody's trying to get into live entertainment. Not everybody thinks they're creative. Not everybody thinks they're talented. And the people who come to enjoy these shows are coming to enjoy a show. They're not coming because they're necessarily a fan of you, unless they are a fan of you. They have a Thursday evening off. They have a Friday night off. You know, it's Tuesday and they just got, I don't know, fired from a job and they need to go somewhere and just not think about it for a little bit. That's the type of environment that it is, especially out in the UK where I'm at. I did London in May and I was there solo by myself. Met all the artists. Everybody was cool. Met a lot of the people who were in the crowd. Everybody was cool, and I had a lot of support during my set. Like I said, knowing absolutely nobody.
Right.
So I think it's so much more true to what it used to be, as far as what live entertainment was back in, let's say, the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, versus over here in the States where it just feels like trying to, I wouldn't say maintain relevance, but I would say just trying to get your shine when everybody's out here trying to shine,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, in some sort of direction or way. So it's different in that kind of resolve. I feel like I have a bit more fun over there, but I feel like I have a lot more energy over here.
Yeah, and I can get that. I think we're at a time where nobody's gatekeeping, nobody's really blocking. It's just like you support me, I support you.
Yeah.
It's very much that, and all these like the majority of the spaces, because we see what it looks like when opportunities get blocked. We see it when for so long we try to do it our own, or the crab in the barrel mentality. But I think we're at a renaissance where everybody is just like understands the struggle and realize like we could do so more together than alone. So I'm glad that you're able to experience that, because your music is just a fun vibe.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? You're great. You got an award, I think, best pop.
Almost. I was a finalist for best pop album for Whammy's DC in 2022 for my album Old Rick. Yeah.
I think you should have won, because a lot of your music, it just flows through. Like I can't just put it in one genre. You know what I mean? You have the voice of an R&B singer. You can rap, but also it's just a good time. I think like my absolute favorite. And you did did you produce the music video for Dub Right Now?
Yeah.
I enjoyed that because if y'all don't remember, if like when Cartoon Network had like the music videos and like the songs, they were fire too. One, like how did you able to write that song and then produce the music video for that?
Man. So the song is just real life. Those are all just things that happened in my life. The verse starts out, I've been really feeling low. I don't know just how to show it. Everything that's good for me lately, I tend to blow it. That's where I kind of felt. And this was around 2020, the beginning of 2021, where I'm fresh out of a relationship because I don't know why. I have to figure out how to move to the DMV. I don't have a job to move to the DMV yet. I'm still in school, about to finish this year, but at the same time, I got a lot of college debt. It's like, but it sucks. It's stupid.
Yeah.
I found an instrumental for one of my favorite producers, Kyoto, and I made it go faster. Because what I like to do is thematically, I might change how my music sounds just so that everything don't sound sad. Like everything ain't gotta be sad.
Right.
It could just be perky. You know what I'm saying? Dub right now is a very perky song. With that song, I just wanted to get across the idea that I'm going through a lot of shit, but that don't mean I can't be there. I'm gonna be there for myself. I'm gonna be there for you. We all got this. We gonna make it through. That's how I was feeling. That's how I felt for a lot of people around that time. So I'm like, I know I'm going through it. I know everybody else is too.
Sure.
We gonna make it. You can count on me. And the music video happened because I really like I said, I needed a job.
Yeah.
I needed a job, and I was in digital media, and I thought it'd be really cool to have something that says passion project, and I know how to do motion graphics. Everybody knows how to use a Photoshop, but can you do motion graphics? Because a lot of things are switching to video. And so I'm like, all right, just do it, grind it out. Green screen in your room. You got just whatever free time you have, grind it out. And in 3 days' time of just recording, I still got all the footage on an SD card somewhere. I mean, in front of a green screen in an astronaut costume, in this kind of 70s funk kind of look. And then in my more like Frank Sinatra but 90s hip hop kind of look, all kind of aspects of myself, just like me being there for myself in a different way, or all these kind of tragedies, but we still holding on. And the theme when I went into it was Playhouse Disney, but specifically, like you were saying, the little music video cuts. I was thinking the all aboard the choo choo train, like specifically that is what came to mind. How I wanted it to look aesthetically. And I just got into After Effects, got after it. My favorite scene is the Pac-Man one because it took, I don't know how I came up with the idea, but I was like, everybody knows that feeling when you hit that corner, you think you good, and then it's nowhere to go, and you just gotta watch them run into everything. That music video was really an adventure for me, so I'm glad that you just picked up on everything.
And even with your new EP, Summer Season, like Jammy Jam, a summer banger to me. Like if I just picture people at a pool party playing it, like just having the most fun. Like I and you can tell like you're a 90s kid because it's very ingrained in your music. Like what were you thinking about like when you made this EP?
When I made the EP, I was in England and I had finally found some free time and some money to go to the studio just by myself in there and just come up with something. And particularly, I've been looking into a lot of the Twin Flame journey. I've been really getting into the spiritual collective side of things and seeing like what's life like to embrace life like this on the more spiritual side. And I took, a lot of my experiences from my music, which comes through a lot of the romances I've had in my life, a lot of the flings that have happened in my life. And I'm like, okay, what's coming up? Summer's coming up. The spring season, I've kind of been in a bit of an isolation. However, it's about to be a live summer. How we feeling? It's party time. So we took it back to the house party, to put the pajama jammy jams, and I take you to what it sounds like in a nice summer day in Jacksonville.
You're originally you're not originally from the DMV.
Right.
So like what is it like for you to like move from the South to the city, be in this area, especially creatively? Like how does that impact you?
It was such a change because the DMV is so much itself. Baltimore is so much itself that if you don't understand how it goes, you can either get lost in it, be a victim to it, or whatever. So you really got to learn the lingo. You got to learn where to go. You got to learn, who's who. You got to learn what they care about. But once you start to figure that out and walk they walk, man, life opens up in your mind. You have so much more fun. You learn how to really tap into like visceral emotions. Like I've never met an angrier place than the DMV. But it's like at the same time they angry and they respect it. It's the culture to be angry at certain things in certain ways and so unafraid to be angry. It being such a love language to experience that emotion is what's so different about this area versus the South, because we all calm, polite, Southern hospitality. You know what I'm saying? Chill folks. We're up here. Hey, y'all go.
Yeah.
We at it. Everything pissed me off. and it's all good.
Yeah.
So it was adapting to that, but like once I learned how to exist in it, it was all love.
I think most of the anger is coming from traffic, and then the other part is being so close to politics and just being aware of what's going on. I see a lot of activism in the city.
Yeah.
So people it's like
Shout
it's anger, but it's like with a purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
for sure. You like sporting the number 21.
Yeah.
So like, what is the significance of that number to you?
So when I first started playing football, the jersey that I got was 21. But my family made me switch jerseys with my cousin because he had 29, which is the number of my cousin that played in the NFL at the time. So they were trying to like keep it like in the family thing. And I'm like, he not even my favorite player on that team. I like the running back. I like 21. I like LaDainian Tomlinson. I always wanted to be 21. And that number dodged me from 4th grade all the way into my junior year of high school. I did not wear that number until my junior year of high school. My coach had to buy it for me.
Wow.
So it's 21 to me is like, it reminds me that I earned my rite of passage and to always remember that I work for everything that I have. Because some days I feel like I have it too easy. Other days I feel like it's time to pack it up. But this number specifically, everything that I've done and I had to earn it again in college. It's so dodgy.
Right.
But when I have it, it's mine. And it reminds me just, hey, make it to the end. You're going to get what you're going to get. So that number is very, very, very important to me. I'm still upset that my first jersey is not.
So basically, you wear the number out of spite.
Halfway, yeah. Halfway.
So if people were to come see your show tonight, what can we expect to see?
You can expect very true stories. You can expect haunted lullabies. You can expect a party. You can expect a romantic night out. And you can expect a tour of my spaceship.
Nice. Do you consider yourself like a romantic person? Because it seems, I've heard like some of your songs, and it seems like you're very heartfelt, very, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do consider myself a romantic. My persona in music for a while was the hopeful romantic. But I think now, as my music has evolved, as my experiences have evolved, as what I'm looking for out of romantic love, platonic love, partnership, as those things have changed and grown and I've matured, I've learned that romance to me is the fun part. It's the part that because this is our attachment, this is our bond, we do this. We don't do this with anybody else. We have fun this way with each other like this.
Right.
And it's very, like, romance is very platonic to me, which is why a lot of my relationships start as friendships.
Right.
And so, and I feel like that's the best way to do it. I think intimacy is always the route. And I think that makes me a romantic at heart. I can't avoid it because, you know, I'm just naturally inclined to having a good time. Women are very beautiful people, and they will go to the edge of the world and back for you as long as you show them respect, dignity, respect their boundaries, all the simple stuff that they ask for.
Yeah.
And then if you want to go above and beyond for someone special you like, please do.
Yeah.
But you show women respect, and they change things.
Yeah.
They change things. So shout out to women, because that's the reason I'm as romantic as I am.
Yeah.
They allow the space for me to even be that type of person.
Yeah, and I think like what we're kind of missing now is meaningful connections.
Yeah.
I feel like everything is just very hookup culture.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but it's just like when you have like a genuine friend, like you have somebody that looks out for you, and just be able to like enjoy their company. You understand like how many people I have met that are with somebody they don't like. But going back to your filmmaking days, because you do have some short films up there. I think the one that spoke to me the most was Change, and that was the one that you did during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So one, like, how was it for you as a filmmaker to produce something during the pandemic, and how did you handle, being in isolation?
Changes was an interesting film because I had just gotten back from the UK the first time I went out. I was doing my master's for documentary filmmaking. And I essentially learned in that course that, like, whatever you think documentary is, like, fuck it, it's not. It's whatever you want it to be.
Right.
And I'm like, so everything's documentary? And that's essentially what I came away with. When I got home, just to make a decision when the pandemic really started to jump, to be like, all right, I'm gonna come back home and I'm gonna just do my film at home. I didn't want to get out of practice with being behind the camera, being in front of a camera, so on and so forth. And that's difficult to do when you're in isolation. You're trying to find a story, you're trying to this and that and everything else. So what I had decided to do was take the feeling of the world right now and make something that's so of this time that it's undeniably true. It's a fake thing.
Yeah.
I made it up.
Right.
I improv the entire thing.
Yeah.
But I want it to be true. I remember I walked in the same park that I shot the film. It's right like across the street from where I live. I walked around there for a little bit. I came back home. I listened to 6 different songs titled Changes. And then I took what I wanted to take as far as what I wanted to place my stamp on what change was for me. And I ended up making a song real quick. And I came away with change being the idea of not only embracing yourself, but you have to embrace the idea that you don't have as much control as you think you have. And things will only change when you stop trying so hard to change. Because if change is inevitable, then if you do nothing, you'll change anyway.
Right.
That whole experience tied in with some existentialism led me to The Color Green, being out in nature, things of that. And I wanted to really dive into this story that celebrated my mom.
Oh.
And so her voice is in there. There's a twist about what happens with the mom in it. Cranked out all the scenes right after I did the music. I did that in the music and the film in 3 days as well. Looked it over and I was like, this looks like a really long music video, but I guess that was the point of it.
Yeah.
It got into a first time filmmakers festival, and then I put it into a bigger one and it didn't get in.
Oh.
But then I waited for the message to catch up in real life. And I put it back in the festivals around the world in 2022. And yeah, that's where I still get emails 2 years later trying to get me into festivals.
Yeah, because I feel like when you're in the pandemic, it doesn't really hit you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think when we first got into it, we were in such denial, like, oh, we just be out for 2 weeks. That's it. 2 weeks turned to a month turned to years.
Yeah.
What I really enjoyed is like it was an accurate depiction of what people were kind of just doing. You just stuck.
Yeah.
And just without certainty. I also learned that you also have an extensive headband collection.
Yeah. I do.
I mean, it was nice. It's just like I just appreciate, accessories.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The style. And just like there's one scene where you're just like going through all your clothes, which I kind of I just appreciated that scene because I felt like my mindset was like when I'm coming out of the pandemic, I'm making sure that my fashion sense is on point. Like if we popping out, we popping out.
Yeah.
That's the way I was looking at it. It was just like buying time, honing my skills, trying different hobbies and things because I don't plan on being stuck in the house when this is all over. I plan to go out there and be anew. I felt like we were always trapped in this cocoon.
Yeah.
And then we just became butterflies.
Absolutely.
After this. It's like different people, and just kind of regaining our sense of self. Even though like it sucked being independent because I was teaching at the time when this was going on. Just to still experience that, but still grow from it. I guess like that's the one takeaway from it, and I feel like that's what your the film Change kind of made me feel.
I'm glad because it's one of the biggest motifs from it, even down to his name, Anthony. If you shorten it one way, it's Ant. When he's Ant, he's in his mind, he has to have medication. He goes crazy in isolation,
Right.
and he feels very small, unimportant.
Mm.
But then as he starts to take his journey, we get close to the end, and he finds an identity for himself. He changes his appearance. His name's now Tony, so he embraces the back end of his name now. So now he's explored. He did away with the first bit. He knows what that's like. He wants to explore the complete opposite end. Both sides together make Anthony, but he's done with being Ant. He wants to explore being Tony, and so it's front to back, just like that cocoon to butterfly feel. Yeah.
You spoke earlier about like coming into your spirituality. So how has that journey been for you?
It's been so reassuring because we all get to a point in our lives if we don't get cemented in our self and who we truly are. If we don't get that early on and we're just kind of left to figure it out as we experience life, it gets dark very fast.
Yeah.
Very fast. Early on, I tried to have something like that with my Christian background, but as it wasn't working for me and just looking for more logical things, still ending up back on a spiritual side, but in a different way, picking up the practice of Buddhism and been doing that for the past almost 3 years and watching myself evolve into a person that's so much more aware of himself, his environment, consequences, things that I actually can control versus what I can't control, and not being so heavily swayed emotionally as a result of things like disappointment or rejection or anything else. Not even saying I had those things to begin with, but being able to understand and empathize with those feelings now instead of just sympathizing with them. So being able to really dive into a more vulnerable side of myself so much more readily and availably, and having deeper connections with people a lot quicker. And it's been, I've learned so much.
Yes. And how is that? Has that changed your music style? Has that impacted your music?
It has allowed me to put out my drafts and not care. I put out so many drafts. Before I'd be like, I might finish it and it'll make a project later, or I couldn't go anywhere else with this idea. I'm like, I started it, it's finished. I started it, it's finished. And that's kind of what New Boat was. It was me trying to figure out how far can I polish drafts to where drafting becomes part of the process. And so you get like this as between any other projects, and I'm redoing Act 1 as we speak. Between any other projects, you get this notion of the quality of it changes from track to track. It gets better in one way. So across New Boat Act 2, the songs come together more. At the beginning of Act 2, you hear a bunch of ideas played back and forth, and you hear someone changing tapes, editing, and then it just gets better and turns into music. Now we got Act 3, and now you see the ideas and the characters now becoming stronger, adding context to who these people are, because you can just throw names out there and it's like, I don't know who these people are. You're still telling a story. You have to figure out how to implement these things. So you can really get a lot of the character development in Act 3 as you go from the start to the back end of it. And it's just been my playground. It's allowed me to have a playground and have that be the official release. It's like you get it exactly how it's coming out of my mind.
Right. I feel like as creatives, we always get hung up on little specifics.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it holds us back from really putting stuff out there.
Yeah.
And with that fear, it shrinks you, honestly. So to hear you say, I'm gonna just go ahead and put it out there, let it be what it be. I worked on it, it's done. You know what I mean? Let the people experience it and be the judge for themselves. And that could be very freeing, actually. And you do come off like a very freeing person. You come off like it's just black boy joy, honestly, with your content. It's just like it's always been a vibe. Especially when I first met you at the Plus Ultra event. It was like a couple of years ago. And even then it was just like all smiles.
Yeah.
So it's like, what do you do to maintain that positive energy?
I think a lot about my sister, because my sister's whole kind of plight in life was put it on, go out, do your thing. but also help people, but also listen to people, but also go talk to people. Like, don't wait for people to come to you to talk to people and then be like, no one talks to me. Go talk to people. Go places, experience things, do things, be the best thing that you could possibly work yourself up to be, and see where it gets you. And once you're not feeling so great about it all, go back to where you started and see how much you've grown.
Right.
And you can smile to know that this is, no matter if you're up or down, if it's been going good or bad, this is who you are now. And you can embrace that change. And once you learn how to love that version of yourself, the world is bountiful. And that's kind of what keeps me smiling these days, and what I take a lot from her. And before that, it was I want to say it was thinking about how proud I make the love of my life.
Oh, that's such a beautiful sentiment.
Yeah.
It just shows like with family, because my sister, she's my biggest inspiration as well.
Yeah.
Like I ended up being a criminal justice major because she was a criminal justice major. We both do photography. I learned photography based on what she gave me.
Beautiful.
So like I understand that sibling connection. So I'm just curious, how did you come up with the name Moon Man Flo?
So it wasn't accidentally on purpose. When I was in high school, I was making music with my friend David Boulevard, Grammys nominated engineer. If you there's probably music out that you've heard that he's engineered. We're making music in high school, and he made a song called Stars, and he wanted me to feature on it. And this is before we really had the tech going on. His house was the booth, and the booth was just his closet, uh, uh, some bed sheets. You know, a nice quality microphone.
It works. Whatever it works. You just gotta MacGyver it sometimes.
It was different. He used to make beats off the PSP. He sends me the song, and I'm like, I don't know how to record this, like, to get the quality of your studio, because all I've been using is my mom's work headset and Audacity.
Right.
You in FL Studio and you got the mic. I'm like, you know what? I got an idea. And so I had, oh my God, it was a T-Mobile phone that slides. It's a touchscreen phone that slides with a keyboard. And I recorded my voice in a memo, and then I sent it to him. And I was like, I made my verse so that I'm talking about like being in space, like on the moon type, like whatever. We just gonna pretend that it's like it's a filter on there, and we're trying to be like transmissions, like I'm on the comms and I'm an astronaut or some shit. And we just gonna call me Moon Man. And it worked because I was a Kid Cudi fan. But I'm like, fuck it. That's how we get away with it. We ain't got to edit nothing. I'm going to send it just like this. Just tweak it a little bit. Boom. And that's what we did. And then I was like, okay, I can't be Moon Man anymore, because when you look it up, there's the and people say this all the time. Well, not all the time. They used to. There was like this one racist thing with the moon guy.
Okay. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can't. And so I was like, all right, everyone calls me Flo because of football. Let me put it all together, one word, Moon Man Flo. And I've stuck with it. There's maybe 2 times I wanted to change it, but now I just keep it more as like the brand name, especially because that's where this all kind of came from. Yeah. But yeah, I can't part with it now because it's so much of like where I've been.
Do you remember what's your verse? You want to like spit your verse from that?
Dang. Aiming for the stars on the moon, of course. We got the engines on blast. Status report. We got 20% determined, 20% ambition, and damn. It started like that.
Yeah, it's very interesting because like I asked like another rapper, like what was their like first verse or first bar?
Yeah.
And it's always like they don't always remember it. Yeah. But I always feel like that's so significant because that's basically your first step. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's how like you got into it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
That was so early. That was like 2010, like maybe more recent. Let's say like 16. Immaculate, feel it in your vascular, stay away. No. If immaculate, flow so spectacular, feel it in your vascular, stay away from Dracula, biting the bullet, I'm busting back with a bar. Bucking a bike and I'm coming back with a car. That's a metaphor for everything that I'm ready for. Running with the bulls, you're gonna have to bring a matador. Bad boys, Detroit, catch me with the horsepower. It'd be reckless of you to be thinking this is your hour. So sour. Better check with the Cabbage Patch Kids. If I get jiggy with the bars, I'm cabbage patching. Yeah.
Wow.
That's back in the MC days.
That was fire.
Yeah.
That was fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just a small sample of what you can see at tonight's show, 8 p.m. at the food truck stage with Moon Man Flo tonight. How you been holding up? Because like you've been back at Blerdcon, so what's the vibe so far? Just coming here today.
I'm doing my best to actually enjoy the people this time.
Mhm.
Last year I was I gotta be here, I gotta do that. The year before that, I gotta be here, I gotta do that. Just learning how to pace myself, learning how to, go back to the room, come back, go to the convenience store so you don't burn all your money and get you something that lasts a little longer, maybe something a little healthier for you.
Yeah.
Don't drink until a certain time. I didn't touch alcohol yet.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to take it a lot easier so I can really, really embrace it this time.
Right.
Because like we said earlier, it's such a beautiful place to be.
Yeah.
And me having to every morning wake up to 90 to 100 degree weather and take 30, 40 odd kids and teach them the game of football for 4 to 5 hours.
Yeah.
It take a toll on you when you not only coaching, you running with them and doing everything. You trying to beat them in everything they trying to do. So just being able to chill here, not be so aggro coach, and just be chill out, creative, black, all of that.
Yeah, it's just to have fun. It is a vacation. Like we're working, but it's always a good time. I'm starting to see more familiar faces coming back to, this type of scene. And I'm glad that you're able to really soak it in and just have fun. Because a lot of times if you're like putting something on, it's always a rush. It's very fast paced. And there's so much going on here today. It's just like, there's so many things I want to go to and visit. So like, I'm so glad that you are taking the time, because working with the youth, although it's important,
love them.
It is a lot. What have been some of the challenges outside of working in the heat, being a coach?
You have to coach every kid differently. There's no one size fits all method of coaching until you get to college where you expect them to be a certain way, and that's part of the agreement. When you're in high school with it, not all the guys have played football, so you're not gonna have 80 guys that have been playing for 5-6 years, and all you got to do is say, hey, run these plays, and you can talk a little bit about it.
Right.
So really learning how to be a teacher on top of being a coach, because a coach is just supposed to, you have an instruction and you tighten it up to the best of your abilities, and I'm just supposed to tell you, you went too far here, you did this, you did that, or give you a little push, or tell you to ease up, just to moderate you. Whereas if I got to teach it to you, I have to be more involved. I have to form a relationship with you. I have to get you to trust the things that I say, so that you productively move in a direction that's useful to you. Because you can move in a direction that's useful to you inefficiently. And that's if I'm not teaching you properly. If I'm not understanding how you learn. If I'm not understanding how you translate information. So having to really get on their level, especially as I get older throughout it. It's not like I said, I was coaching guys that I played with. It's much easier. We already have that relationship.
Right.
I'm 28 coaching a 13, 14-year-old sometimes, and I have an idea what their world is like, but I have no idea how they think.
Right.
And you always have to be able to adapt to those situations and what may come. So I think that's the most difficult part about it, is understanding that if you're a coach at the high school level, you have so much more of a duty to not just coach your sport. Please teach these people skills, how to express themselves, because my coaching is always going to go beyond just lifting weights and running up the field. We're going to talk about things. We're going to stretch deeply. I'm going to give you opportunities to talk about, what do you want out of this program? What are we doing right and wrong? make you feel like you have a voice in it because you do. It's your experience.
Right. A lot of times you are a father figure or a parent figure in their life. You can be their counselor. You gotta like coach them through some personal things. Their therapist. I can't tell you how many kids have adopted me as their so-called mom.
Yeah.
But it's worth it because it's like you mean that much to them that they're willing to include you in your family. So that means a lot. It also means like you're like doing your job and being effective.
Exactly.
And it's like it's a lot of hats you gotta wear, a lot of bandanas in your case. You know what I mean? It's worth it when you see them succeed.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? So you probably seen how many years have you been coaching?
10.
10 years?
Yeah.
So you're probably seen a lot that have gone through high school, graduated, went to college, come back, and you know what I mean? And that's worth the world to see. To be honest, like that's the main thing that keeps me going because I've been teaching for 10 years as well. You may not see it in the moment.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, you may just see it like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
But when they come back and tell you the impact that you made on their life, it's like, ooh,
Yo.
okay, I'm supposed to be doing this.
What's so crazy is I've been in it so long to see the circles complete themselves. I've coached the brothers of guys I played with. I've coached cousins, nephews, nieces, even daughters.
Yeah.
And while I was living here in the DMV, I had a player graduate and sign. My first D1 player.
Wow.
Nick Bell. He signed. I think it was 2020. He signed to. He was coming here, and he was gonna play. And he plays at Navy.
Wow.
And his position coach coming into Navy is the same coach that recruited me at Harvard when I was 18.
That's dope. Like you smiling from ear to ear, you know, for that. So congratulations to you for being a part of, you know, his life and helping him get to that point. Yeah. That's so dope. I do want to leave time for our next guest to come through and set up. And thank you all for watching this live stream. It means so much to me. It means so much to Moon Man Flo. Where can everybody find you at?
You can find me primarily on Instagram at FKA_Moonman. Sure. Yeah, that's anywhere else. It'll pop up Moon Man Flo. You'll find it, but primarily on Instagram.
Yep, and then you can find me at New Orleans Vibes on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Threads, X. Those are the main social medias I'm working with. All right, and I'll catch you guys next time.